Hi, this is Alyssa Kane, Master's Student at Oregon State University, and in this video I'll be talking about one of the projects from the USDA-SCRI POA Annua Herbicide Resistance Grant that we're working in conjunction with Rutgers University in New Jersey, and that is the establishment competition of perennial ryegrass and annual bluegrass when fertilized with various rates of phosphorus. This research was conducted at Oregon State University in our on-campus greenhouses. All pots were lined with geotextile material, filled with sand, and given an initial application of nitrogen, potassium, and calcium. The first factor of our trial was the two perennial ryegrass varieties, so the Black Cat 2 and the Home Run lateral spreading. The next factor was the annual bluegrass seeding timing. We either seeded the annual bluegrass at the same time as the perennial ryegrass, or we interseeded the annual bluegrass into a 45-day-old stand of perennial ryegrass. The last factor was the varying phosphorus rates, starting at 0 kilograms per hectare, so 0% of the recommended phosphorus rate, and increasing incrementally to 197 kilograms per hectare, so 400% of the recommended phosphorus rate. Our hypotheses were that the number of annual bluegrass plants established would be greater when seeded at the same time as the perennial ryegrass, and the addition of phosphorus fertilizer would yield more annual bluegrass plants per pot. All pots were mowed weekly with clippings collected, dried, and weighed. Seen here in Figure 1, we calculated average clipping dry weight in response to phosphorus fertilizer rate. At either seeding timing, as phosphorus fertilization rates increased to the recommended rate at 50 kilograms per hectare, the clipping dry weight also increased. It decreased at 200% of the recommended rate, but increased again when fertilized with 400% of the recommended. At the conclusion of the study, pots were examined for established annual bluegrass plants. Seen here in Table 1, when annual bluegrass was seeded at the same time as the perennial ryegrass, we had a greater amount of weed germination than that of the interseeded pots seen in Table 2. Furthermore, annual bluegrass struggled to establish in the absence of phosphorus fertilizer, but as soon as any phosphorus was added, annual bluegrass plants prevailed. When annual bluegrass was interseeded into a mature stand of perennial ryegrass, as phosphorus rates increased, the number of annual bluegrass plants per pot decreased. So, in conclusion, we would recommend when establishing a stand of turf, it's best to not add phosphorus fertilizer until the stand has matured. We believe this has to do with the weed seed's inability to make contact with the soil and germinate due to the vigor of the intended turf crop. Thank you for watching my summer field day video, and please visit our YouTube channel or the Beaver Turf website for more Oregon State University research. Join our Turfgrass team on Zoom for a research Q&A on September 2nd from 9 to 11 a.m. Pacific. More information can be found in the links below, and we hope to see you there.